G'day guys, Cam Wild Touring, welcome to this week's episode. This week I've come out on the Swan River on the boat. I've had a fair bit done to the boat recently that I'll show you shortly. And I've decided to do a little bit of an early morning crabbing session. It's only about 6 o'clock in the morning, boat's already in the water, and it is just dead flat out here. It is beautiful. I have come out by myself, and I'll see if I can get my daily bag limit for blue swimmer crabs, which is 5 crabs each. Tiff and I love these. If I can get 5 in the esky before midday, I'll bomb home with them and I'll cook her a nice crab curry, and I'll be in the good books. So we'll give it a crack. For bait, I'm just using some chicken pieces. I couldn't find chicken necks because I left it till last minute, so I am using whole chicken pieces, which is not the most economic way to catch 5 crabs, but fishing's not about being economic really, is it? This spot here, it's like 2 seconds from the boat ramp, and I've had quite a lot of luck here. It's supposed to be some decent sized crabs this year, so let's see how we go. Let's bait up and give it a crack, eh? Love to get a feed pretty early in the morning. The wind's going to turn around midday, so I'd really like to have a belt into the city or do a bit of trolling through Melville waters or something like that. Let's see how we go. First pull, first crab. Awesome. Little one. Alrighty, first size one of the morning. He went about 10 mil over. It's a male. Beautiful. If I can get 4 more of those, I'm happy. Good start. Oh, another decent size one. 2 in the esky, 3 more, let's go. That is a big dog. Oh, look at this, guys. He's massive. Wow, he's an absolute monster. I'm wrapped with that. 2 more of them, we're done. Oh, another big one. Have a go at that. And that's me done. I've just bagged out. That's the last one. And good timing, because I just got off the phone with Tiff. Tiff, Chloe and Brodie are going to come meet me out here. So I'm going to go pick them up off the jetty. Probably have a picnic somewhere on the Swan while it's so beautiful. I'll leave these fellas on ice. And this might be lunch, it might be dinner. Depends what sort of picnic Tiff packs, I guess. But yeah, really nice session on the Swan. The conditions are just bloody beautiful. I love it out here when it's like this. I love this time of the year. Sun's up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. It's beautiful. You just got to pick your days because it's often quite windy in summer in Perth. Anyway, I'll get the rest of these pots. It took about 2 hours, which is probably a little bit longer than I thought it would have taken, but really happy with that. I've got 1 really big one and the rest are pretty average size. I'll show you when I get home and I get them out of the esky. Well, we're back. The kids didn't last too long, so we've bombed home. I've cleaned the boat. I haven't prepped the crabs yet, but I'll do that shortly and we'll do a bit of a cook up. So the mission was crabbing this morning, but it was also about a bit of a dummy run with the boat just to make sure that everything's working all right, because I have got a bigger trip that starts next week on YouTube with a few of the lads, a few different boats in a waterway down south. It's going to be a big one, so I wanted to make sure that everything was working well. And I'm glad I did, because there was a couple little things that I do need to look at before we go. But we'll chat about that later. Anyway, you might have noticed that there are a few changes to the boat, and I haven't done a boat update for a while, so I'll give you a quick one. The first thing is this new bait board. So this is from Pro Wave. They're a mob over east. I used to have one of those plastic ones from like BCF that used to sit in your rod holder, but it only lasted one trip and it was really wonky and all your stuff would fall off in rough seas. Just didn't work too well for me. So I knew I wanted something that was a bolt-on or a weld-on job. I didn't want to go custom made because it's just too expensive. This thing was actually quite expensive anyway, so I didn't want to spend any more than that. It doesn't fit the boat perfectly. You can see it's sort of hanging off. I've got some packers there that still need trimming down, but there was, you know, a few things that I had to take into account, like making sure that the motor could trim up enough without hitting it, and there was enough meat to actually bolt the thing down. So, you know, by no means a perfect fit. It's pretty rough and ready like the rest of the boat, so I suppose that suits it. Anyway, really happy with that. It's got a couple of stubby coolers, or stubby holders, sorry, plastic chopping board, rocket launcher on the back there, one drawer, which doesn't fall out, I like that, and one shelf. I'll use that as a surface to put my cooker on and do cook-ups and stuff when we're camping out of the boat. But otherwise, yeah, really good bait board there, really functional. So that's one thing. The other thing you probably noticed was the new bimini. Now this boat actually had a new bimini on it when I first picked it up, a blue one. It was a good one actually because it came the whole way down to the windscreen, so it provided more protection from rough seas, getting splashed in the face and winds and stuff like that. Also meant that I could tow the boat without pulling the bimini down. But the problem was that this windscreen's really cracked and old. When I'm standing up, I'm at like this sort of height. So I couldn't stand up and skipper because there was a bimini in my face. I couldn't really sit down and skipper because this old acrylic window was just too far gone. So I priced up getting a new windscreen and it was like $2,000 to $3,000 to replace it. And I ended up going the cheaper option and putting a new bimini on for like $400 or $500. That also means I've got an opening here, which I like because I need a little bit of a breeze. It got quite stuffy in here before. So yeah, that looks really good. I'm happy with that. It's a DIY fit. And yeah, it worked out quite well. I do have to pull it down when I'm driving, when I'm towing the boat though. And then lastly, probably the most obvious thing is the new flooring. So that was probably the biggest job too. It's sort of wet at the moment and drying, that's why it looks all patchy. This is Eva foam decking. It's the cheap fake teak sort of stuff from eBay. This was probably 150 bucks for enough foam to do the entire boat. Again, the job's pretty rough and ready, but if you don't look too closely, it looks pretty good. I had to actually replace the timber floor as well because it was really soft and rotten and falling apart. So what I did was I pulled the old floor out and I used that as a template to trace out some new flooring. Now I used plywood from Bunnings, 12mm plywood. I couldn't get marine grade. No one in Perth had it when I was doing this job. I used raw plywood. Now, that wouldn't last too long in a marine environment. It's going to get wet, it's going to swell, it's going to rot, all the rest of it. So I had to take extra special care to seal it, which I would have done with marine ply anyway, but it's even more important with raw ply. So I ended up putting, like, honestly, I think I put 4 litres of marine varnish totally around these cut sheets, on the sides, top and bottom, the whole lot, lots and lots of coats. I wanted a really thick layer to keep the water out for as long as possible. And then it was just a matter of cutting this foam decking and sticking it down. It has got a sticky back, like a self-adhesive backing to it, but I did add some extra spray adhesive on the edges because they're the bits, you know, that are going to lift first. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it came out. It's soft underfoot. It was mid-30s today and it didn't feel too hot walking around barefoot on the deck. So I think it'll be a good thing. It's ever so slightly spongy. I do think it's probably going to be hard to keep stains and stuff off. I really do need to sort out a deck wash. So as I'm getting it dirty, I can give it a quick wash off when I'm on the ocean or on the river. But yeah, you know, it probably cost me, I think it cost me about 300 bucks, maybe a smidge more. That's for the timber, the marine varnish and the Eva foam decking all up. So if I get a couple of years out of that, I'm laughing. And there you have it. That's the latest couple of mods that I've done to the boat. And that is all I'll do to it before our big lap of Australia. The van's sitting on the driveway. We're heading off in the next 8 weeks. So I can't spend any more time or any more money on this boat. I really need to focus on the car and the van and all that kind of stuff. But I did have one more trip in this boat. Like I said, starts next week on YouTube. And I just wanted these last couple of things to make that trip really comfortable. After that trip, boat goes into storage for a year or so. So yeah, there you have it. Anyway, it's lunchtime. Tiff's been out here reminding me she's hungry. It's 2 o'clock. Let's process these crabs and make some lunch. Righto, we're back. The boat's clean. Crabs are processed. 4 of them are pretty average size. One of them was massive. I think he went 66 centimetres from nipper to nipper. Really good size. I am cooking in the caravan. For those of you that don't know, we don't leave for our lap of Australia until the end of next month. But the house is up for sale, or maybe already sold by the time you're watching this, hopefully. But it's just so hard keeping the house clean with the kids. They're right behind you and they're messing everything up as quickly as you can clean. So while we're doing home opens, we're living in the caravan around home anyway, between the in-laws and our place. Anyway, so we're in the caravan. I've prepped all my stuff. This happens really quickly. So the crabs have been halved. Nippers have been snapped off. All the gills and the mustard and everything has been cleaned out. And I've broken the nippers with some pliers, just cracked them all so some of the juices and stuff while we're cooking can get in there. And then I've prepped a couple of things. I'll show you as we cook. So let's get that heat on. Tiff is waiting very patiently. This is about 2 hours past lunchtime now. I would have used some butter, but I haven't got any handy, so a bit of oil, good bit of garlic, bit of ginger, a little bit of lemongrass, and a little bit of chilli. If it was not for Tiff, I'd put a lot more chilli in it, but she can't handle the heat. So I'm just going to let that go fragrant. Won't take long as the pan heats up. Fresh would have been better, but this is what I got. I'm going to bang some coconut cream in here now. She's hot. And I'm also going to bang some kaffir lime leaves, half a lime juice, a good squirt of fish oil, not fish oil, fish sauce, and a good pinch of sugar. I can smell that fish sauce. And then I can start to put my crabs in there. This won't take long, 5 minutes or so I reckon. I'm going to find a plate or something that'll fit on top so I can kind of steam these in there. Wow, that fits a lot better than expected. That'll steam really nicely underneath there, but I'll still give it a bit of a toss a couple of minutes through just to make sure everything's coated in that sauce. Didn't take too long. Definitely pushed the limit of what can fit in that pan though. That was a bit tight. Well, I'm probably not going to win any awards for plating stuff up, but it'll be delicious. No chilies for Tiff, she can't do it. It smells really good, and I bet it will taste pretty good too. Bit of that rice. Bit of crab. This is that big one. Yeah, delicious. Oh, got a whack of that chilli then. Anyway, I better get this into Tiff. Hey, if you enjoy this boating stuff, the fishing stuff, starting next week is a trip series in the boat. It'll be a really good one. If you're not, end of next month, we're on the road full time, living out the caravan. So if you're into the caravanning and the family stuff, there's going to be a hell of a lot of it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.